Hello everybody, Paul here, and it's been a little while since I've done a TTM autograph recap video, but I ended August on a very strong note. 10 items in the mail since the last video to end August. A good mix of different hockey stuff once again, and also a couple non-sport things. Been a little bit sidetracked with a lot of Seattle Kraken excitement recently. But I figured why not get caught up, so let's get started. First one came from Walnut Creek, California in 8 days. This is a sort of a multi-sport success. It's of a legendary broadcaster in Bay Area sports. Anybody who is a football fan will recognize the name Joe Starkey. Right there. He is the broadcaster for the Cal Golden Bear football team. He famously called the 1982 play where in a series of bizarre events, Cal miraculously won against Stanford in the big game, and roll tape.
Harmon will probably try to squib it, and he does. Ball comes loose, and the Bears have to get out of bounds. Rogers along the sideline, another one. They're still in deep trouble at midfield. They tried to do a couple of... The ball is still loose as they get it to Rogers. They give it back now to the 30. They're down to the 20. Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going into the end zone. Will it count? The Bears have scored, but the bands are out on the field. There were flags all over the place. Wait and see what happens. We don't know who won the game. There are flags on the field. We have to see whether or not the flags are against Stanford or Cal. The Bears may have made some illegal laterals. It could be that it won't count. The Bears, believe it or not, took it all the way into the end zone. If the penalty is against Stanford, California would win the game. If it is not, the game is over and Stanford has won. We've heard no decision yet. Everybody's milling around on the field. The Bears have won. The Bears have won. Oh my God! The most amazing, sensational, dramatic, heartrending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California has won the big game over Stanford.
So yeah, pretty crazy. A lot of people don't realize this, but Joe Starkey was also the broadcaster for the California Golden Seals. If I can get that to focus, hopefully. There we go. Yeah, California Golden Seals. And so his catchphrase back on the Seals was, "What a bonanza." So he inscribed that, which is nice of him. And then another thing people might not realize, Joe Starkey was the announcer for the San Jose Sharks in their first couple of seasons in the NHL, the Cow Palace years. Oh, there we go. I'll hold it back this way. So he inscribed it "Bite 'em," which I don't remember. I wasn't, unfortunately, a hockey fan back during the Cow Palace days, but yeah, really cool. I wanted to get him to sign something Sharks related. And then he also included a nice little thank you note here. "Hi, Paul. Thanks for the kind words, Joe Starkey." Right there. So fun success from a legendary broadcaster, and I get the sense he doesn't get a lot of mail because, I mean, he responded super quickly, and just happy to have this one back for my Sharks collection, my Bay Area sports collection, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to continue with another non-hockey thing real quick before I get into hockey. This is another very quick success, another 8-day return coming from Worcester, Massachusetts. There's just one card, and it's legendary NBA Hall of Famer Bob Cousy. So he signed that really nicely to Paul Peace, Bob Cousy. Right there. I mean, a legendary career in basketball, Boston Celtics, and I heard he was a great signer through the mail, so I decided, let me just send one out. So, pretty awesome. So we're going to switch gears and go into hockey, but around the same time Bob Cousy was playing for the Boston Celtics, in the same building, the Boston Garden, this man was playing for the Boston Bruins. And so this is let's see, what is this? A 3 of 3 in 24 days coming from Prescott, Ontario. And it is Leo Boivin. So he signed that Hall of Fame 1986 right there. Signed 3 of 3. Here's another Parkhurst reprint card of him on the Red Wings. Right there. And then he was an original Pittsburgh Penguin. I seem to be sending to a lot of these guys just out of coincidence. So I made a custom index card, had him sign it. So he signed everything with Hall of Fame 1986, which is really cool. He had a very long and good career in the NHL's original 6 era and expansion era. So very nice getting Leo Boivin back. And then let's take things even further back. This is the oldest living NHL player. He is, I believe, 97 years old. This was a pretty quick return, 2 of 2 in 27 days from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. And it is Steve Wojcik. He changed his name legally to Wojcik after his career was over. That's what all his teammates called him, and so he decided, you know, instead of trying to write out the entire name there, Wojciechowski, he just simplified it and went with Wojcik. So signed this great Detroit Red Wings custom that I made up, and signed it Steve Wojcik. He played during the World War II, and then after that, he ended up in the minors and was on the Cleveland Barons of the American Hockey League for some time, and they won a Calder Cup in 1953, so decided to make that up. He played on that team with Johnny Bower and a number of other notable players. So a pretty legendary minor league team there. So it's good to get him back. We're going to stay with the old school stuff here. The next success is coming back from Florida, 2 of 2 in 2 weeks exactly. And it is former LA King and WHA player Gord Labossiere. So there's an LA Kings, I think that's a 1970 O-Pee-Chee. No, it's a 1970 Topps. Picturing him on the LA Kings. Then when the World Hockey Association got going, he went to Houston. So there's a In the Game 1972 set, which was put out, I think, let me check when that was put out, in 2009. Right there. And this set features a number of players who were playing hockey, either in the NHL or WHA in the year 1972. And Gord Labossiere put up tons of points playing on Houston with Gordie Howe and the younger Howe brothers. And so that's what most of his career is all about. So it was great to add him to the collection. And then in keeping in this same era of hockey, in 17 days there's a 2 of 2 coming back from Victoriaville, Quebec, and it is Simon Nollet. So here's a 1974-75 Topps with him pictured on the Philadelphia Flyers, but he went to the Scouts, the Kansas City Scouts, when that team first entered the NHL. Here's the 75 Topps, which I've had this card forever, and it's really kind of beat up, but the Scouts were a pretty terrible team, unfortunately. Some great jerseys there, just the different stripes on the jersey, and the very classic looking sweater set there. The Scouts were only around for 2 years. They moved and became the Colorado Rockies, and then became the New Jersey Devils, of course, after that. Nollet played on the 1974 Philadelphia Flyers, so Stanley Cup champion, a great addition to the collection. I hadn't gotten him yet, so awesome stuff. And let's keep it going. Another Philadelphia Flyer, 4 of 4 in 40 days, coming from rural Alberta, and it is 1980 Stanley Cup Finals goaltender Pete Peters. So there's his 81 Topps. And then a 90 Upper Deck. He had, I believe, played for the Bruins after the Flyers, and then the Capitals, and then this was his second stint with the Flyers in like the early 90s. It's a 91 O-Pee-Chee. for the set I'm kind of working on a little bit. And then here is a Parkhurst, a more recent Parkhurst card showing him on the Bruins. I didn't have a Bruins card of him from the 80s, so this is the one I found for him on the Bruins. So yeah, good success from Pete Peters. Now we're getting down to the last three, and these are, the next two are just more players from the early 90s and stuff. This next success only took 2 weeks. It came from Atlanta, and it's a 5 of 5 from Scott Pearson. So here's some early 90s randomness. There's a 90 Tops on the Nordiques, 91 O-Pee-Chee on the Nordiques, on the Nordiques, 91 O-Pee-Chee on the Nordiques, 93 Score on the Nordiques, and then 93 Score Series 2, because he played that season with the Edmonton Oilers. So this set came out, I think, before the season started in 93. And then this was the Series 2 version of 93 Score. And then finally, a 95 Upper Deck with him on the Buffalo Sabres. So, yeah, thanks a lot, Scott Pearson. Great signer through the mail. Then another great signer through the mail, a 4 of 4, 22 days coming from Boston, Mike Lawler. I was kind of excited to get this one back. Mike Lawler was on the Blues. So here's a 90-91 O-Pee-Chee. It says now with capitals. So here's 91-92 O-Pee-Chee once again. And then here's a 92-93 Stadium Club on the Winnipeg Jets. And then he landed on my San Jose Sharks for the beginning of that great 1993-94 team, the team that got me into hockey when I was a kid. Near the end of that season, I think at the trade deadline, the Sharks traded Mike Lawler and Doug Smolek away to the Dallas Stars in return for Ulf Dahlin. Ulf Dahlin really helped the Sharks sort of get past the Red Wings in that first round. He had a pretty good series there. I hadn't gotten Mike Lawler yet, just hadn't gotten around to sending to him, so I'm glad to get this back and add him to my Sharks PC. So thank you, Mike. Very cool. All right, and finally, this last success is a 4 of 4 coming from Charlotte, North Carolina, and is of a player that you probably haven't heard of. He's a former Western Hockey League player. He played for the Portland Winterhawks and the old Tacoma Rockets. Before the Rockets were in Kelowna, they spent a few seasons in Tacoma. They started out as the Tacoma Rockets in 1991 and were there until 95, and that's when they moved to Kelowna. And one of the players on that team was Jamie Black. So there's a 91 7th inning sketch. And then another thing is that Jamie Black scored the first goal at the Tacoma Dome when it was used in the Western Hockey League. And so in this set, they had put some of the arenas into the set for some reason. And so this is just a card of the Tacoma Dome. It seems kind of random. He wrote there, "A walk down memory lane. Thanks, Paul." Jamie Black. And then this is from the previous season. He was on the Portland Winterhawks before going to the Tacoma Rockets. So there's that one. So he signed those nicely. And as you would, and also like a lot of these other players from the 90s, roller hockey time. Another Sacramento River Rat. I don't know why I just happen to be sending to a lot of River Rat guys. But here's another one. Thanks for the flashback, Paul. All the best, Jamie Black. Very cool. And then, again, a reason why I absolutely love sending to the roller hockey guys. Getting great notes back. And this one's a great note. Here you go. So, here's the note. And I'll just read it here. Paul, thanks for the note. Some great memories. I truly enjoyed playing in the Northwest. Thanks again for the walk down memory lane, Jamie. FYI, I met my wife playing in Sacramento the RHI days. And then he ends it with, "Go Kraken." So, very, very cool personal letter back. I really appreciate him signing. And again, it's why I enjoy doing through the mail to some of the minor league players. They really seem to appreciate being remembered and people knowing their career. So once again, this is a great way to end August. and I had a streak going, so really cool. Look forward to more videos coming up, more autograph videos, more Seattle Kraken content. Thanks for watching, and take care.